democracy. And today, we are saying we are fighting for our democracy. We in the labor movement are fighting for a democracy and a voice in it so we can secure a better life for all working people, all of God's children. Better wages, affordable health care and child care, good schools for children, and a secure retirement. Tell me, what is radical about all of that? But today, I speak not only as the leader, proud leader of a 1.8 million member union of people who make a difference in the lives of others, but I speak as a teacher, a high school social studies teacher. Yes, let's hear it for the teachers of America. A teacher who taught students about the Constitution and its underlying principle, we the people. We the people are a country that is governed by the rule of law, not the rule of one man. We are governed by fairness, not fear or favor. Now this idea, as you've heard before, see, you can go and say, if you're kids right now, this is your homework for the weekend, okay? This idea has been a constant for 249 years, since the Declaration of Independence, and the notion made famous by the Gettysburg Address of a government by, for, and of the people. Say it again, by, for, and of the people. Now, we know the founders were not perfect, but they had one abiding principle, and that is and was that we as a nation should never, ever again be ruled by a tyrant or a king. That was as true today as it was back then. And that is why millions of people today from all walks of life are turning out at these thousands of events. Republicans, Democrats, independents, black, brown, white, this 68-year-old Jewish baby boomer, Muslim small business owners, Christian Gen Zers. This is, as iGen said, we are the majority of America. And what do we want? What do we want? We want the promise of America for everyone. We want a voice in our future. We are standing up in peaceful, patriotic protest, just like our founders called out. No thrones, no crowns, no kings. We are standing up because we don't want our streets militarized. We don't want our neighbors disappeared by masked Asians. We don't want our colleges forced to sign loyalty oaths. We don't want, what? We don't want public officials arrested on trumped-up political charges. And, this is a little different, we want our federal government to fix the health care crisis that was created by the big, ugly bill Republicans passed in July. We want a president who will keep health care premiums down, bring down the cost of groceries and housing, strengthen public schools, make college affordable, and embrace workers' rights. Again, what is radical about any of that? Exactly. We want the president to spend his time solving our country's problems, not settling scores with political opponents. We want a future that is based on fairness and justice and the rule of law, not chaos, corruption, or cruelty. So, I'm going to end with a couple of labor slogans here. Because, my friends, we are in an existential fight. And right now, we all have to organize and be stronger and bolder because no one is going to save us but ourselves. So, we got a lot of sayings in labor, but the first one is, when we fight, when we fight, when we fight, and the second is, the people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated or divided. Either one is fine. So, are we united today? Will we fight for our democracy? Will we fight for the promise of America? This is about loving America, right? So we're sending a clear message to the president. Rather than smearing those calling out problems, solve those problems. So today, no kings, tomorrow, freedom. Today, no kings, tomorrow, freedom.
Now please welcome the co-founder of the Black Votes Matter Fund and one of the leading voices on voting rights, Cliff Albright. He is joined by 10th grader Zion, a youth student advocate from the Trigger Project.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zion Stewart. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zion Stewart, and I'm from Debbie Street Southeast, better known as Chavez City. I grew up around a lot of trauma and violence like many kids in my neighborhood. I got connected to the Trigger Project through one of my mentors. Going through Trigger University, I felt something I never felt before. A safe space, people who believed in me, and a chance to learn the real causes and the disease of gun violence. More police doesn't fix what's really going on. It just adds more confusion and chaos. It doesn't heal our pain. It doesn't give us opportunities or make us feel safe in our neighborhoods. Saying fuck Trump. Right. Saying fuck Trump or fuck ICE would be what he expects from me, but that's not what we need. What we need is prevention, support, and spaces where black youth can thrive. If every home had the support it needed, if every community member was emotionally aware and mentally healthy, if schools didn't push us towards the prison pipeline, and if the city invested in me before the first time I was profiled, we wouldn't be here. Youth are the solution, not the problem. We deserve to be understood, not blamed or preyed upon. Free DC. We are prevention. Thank you.
Y'all give it up again for Zion. Last time I was here, was speaking at a rally like this, was 2021 for the Freedom Rise, when Black Voters Matter and dozens of other organizations organized for voting rights legislation, like the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act and the For the People Act. I got you, sis, and HR 51 DC statehood. When I say DC, you say statehood. DC. DC. We organized for those voting rights because we knew that we'd be in a moment like this. A moment where we have a wannabe dictator and a do-nothing Congress trying to take away our voting rights, trying to cancel elections and purge voters from the rolls. We knew it was coming. Just this week, the Supreme Court heard a case that could put the final death blow to the Voting Rights Act. It could eliminate black representation for black communities, and it can create at least 19 seats that are currently protected by the Voting Rights Act would be eliminated by many of these red states. And this is happening at a time when we are seeing mid-decade redistricting in places like Texas and Missouri because we have somebody who wants to be a king. We have somebody who, just like he said to Georgia, go find me 11,700 votes, he's trying to tell these states, go find me 10 extra congressional seats or 15 seats or 20 seats. And this could create a permanent one-party rule at the expense of black voters and black communities. But like so many other issues that are rooted in anti-blackness, that sickness won't just stay within the black community, it affects this entire country. And so we join you in saying, no kings. But we got to go beyond no kings, because the last time that call was made in 1776, 1/4 of this country's population was enslaved. And so we've got to go beyond no kings. We've got to recognize that they have used divide and conquer ever since that time in 76, or ever since 1619, to keep us divided, to divide those who were enslaved from those who were poor whites, to divide us from those indigenous brothers and sisters. They've been using that divide and conquer tactic, and they're still using it today to keep us divided, all of our communities. But I've got some good news for you, because what I know is this: if divide and conquer is one of the oldest tricks in the books, then by definition, one of the most revolutionary acts of resistance is simply to be united. For us to stand together, to sing together, to laugh together, to cry together, to fight together. Power to the people, yes, because what I also know is this: their hate cannot beat our love. And when I talk about our love, I'm not talking about a Valentine's Day kind of love. I'm talking about a radical love. I'm talking about a you might have to flip over the money changers tables kind of love. I'm talking about a love that is merged with power, because those two things are not opposite, they go together. As Dr. King told us, power without love is reckless and abusive, but love without power is sentimental and anemic. That's what I'm talking about. He went on to say that power at its best is love implementing the demands of justice, and justice at its best is power correcting everything that stands against love. That's what we need. And when we have that kind of love and power, when we walk in that kind of love and power that sees all of our communities, from Vermont all the way to Memphis, from LA all the way over to DC, especially Southeast DC. When we walk in that kind of love and power, there ain't nothing that I want to be a small, petty dictator. There ain't nothing that he can do to stop us. Because when we walk in that kind of love and power, there's nothing that we can't do. But we've got to believe we've got that power. Do y'all believe? Do you believe? Let me hear you say, I believe. Let me hear you say it with all your heart, from the depths of your soul, say, I believe. Let me see you put a fist up and say it so loud that the wannabe small man in the White House can hear you say, I believe. And when we believe, then we will truly build the society that we want, and that society will have no kings. Thank y'all.
Now please welcome Jay Brown, Chief of Staff for the Human Rights Campaign, and Sean Skelly, former Assistant Secretary of Defense for Readiness in the Biden administration and co-founder of Out in National Security.
Hello, D.C. My name is Jay Brown, and I'm with the Human Rights Campaign, the nation's largest LGBTQ civil rights organization in the country. And I'm here today as a proud transgender American. I'm here to say this is my country, too. You know, like so many of you, I came here today with my family and friends. My twin sister is somewhere out there in that crowd of people. And growing up, she fit the mold of what people expected. You could say I broke the mold, but our parents loved us just the same. You know, we didn't know anybody transgender. We didn't even know the word. But they gave us the love and the support that we needed to thrive, and now I'm a dad with an amazing family of my own. And I gotta tell you, that's what freedom looks like. The freedom to live and to be and to raise our families as we see fit. But this president, he has a darker vision for America. One where our families are told how to parent their children, where our doctors are forced to forego their oaths to do no harm, where the government is ripping families apart and hurting our people. They're cutting billions of dollars from HIV prevention and treatment. They're banning our books. They're firing teachers who use a student's nickname. And they're firing gay workers who put a pride flag on their desk. But we're all here because we believe in a better America. We believe in a country where kids can get a quality education free from bullying, where love is love, where freedom is afforded to all and not reserved for the wealthy few. That is America at its greatest. That is our America. And on behalf of HRC's 3.6 million members and supporters, I'm here to say that America does not and will not ever have a king. The truth is, no one rally's going to save us. No court ruling, no single election will save us. We have to save ourselves. We have to build workplaces that are safe, classrooms that are welcoming, communities where we see each other not as our enemies, but as our neighbors. And we must always resist the temptation to believe only in the worst of this country. That's what he wants. He wants us to be defeated. Are we going to be defeated? No. He wants us to be silent. Are we going to be silenced? No. He wants us to be scared. Are we scared? No. You know, we have the power to build a better tomorrow. LGBTQ plus people, we live in every zip code and are from every background. We were born here and we immigrated here. We come from red families and from blue families. And we are here to say that this is our America too. No one knows that better. No one knows that better than my friend and a tireless public servant who's on stage with me today. A true patriot who knows the cost of freedom. I'm proud to pass the mic to former Assistant Secretary of Defense for Readiness and our HRC board member, Sean Skelly.
Good afternoon, D.C. As Jay said, I'm Sean Skelly, a retired Navy officer, a former Assistant Secretary of Defense, and I serve on the board of the Human Rights Campaign. I'm an out, proud trans woman who loves our country, who's put my life on the line for our country and our rights. And I will fight for it now using all the rights that the Constitution gives us, and I swore an oath to defend. I was proud to recently serve alongside thousands of transgender service members who have served with honor, skill, and courage. They have protected us while their own Commander-in-Chief and Secretary of Defense have vilified them and denied their right to exist. Anyone who serves in uniform deserves so much better than what this tainted chain of command has to offer. This administration targets these brave Americans because of its wanton campaign to drive me and all of my transgender brothers and sisters out of our country, out of our society, out of the protection of our laws, and into some dark, dangerous corner that they are inventing. This wannabe autocrat can't allow transgender Americans to serve honorably and successfully in our military, which is the highest regarded institution in America, when they have chosen all transgender Americans, already some of the most at-risk and vulnerable people in this country, to be their autocratic other, the people to be feared, scorned, and blamed because of their shameless lies, hateful lies that they tell about the danger that trans people supposedly bring to our society, and somehow upset the utopia that the dear leader promised us is around every corner. The American people respect those who put on their uniform, who protect them, and serve at the risk of their lives for people we don't even know. We're here today because generations of Americans have bet their lives and their families' future on the promise of a more perfect union. The oath I took 10 times over 35 years of service in uniform and as a civilian means to every person who ever took it in good faith, and I'm going to quote the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, we don't take an oath to a king or a queen or to a tyrant or dictator. We don't take an oath to a wannabe dictator. We don't take an oath to an individual. We take an oath to the Constitution, and we take an oath to the idea that is America, and we're willing to die to protect it. To put it simply, no kings. We demand justice for our transgender service members. We demand justice and civil rights for every transgender American. We demand justice and democracy for every single American. No kings. Thank you.
And now, please welcome to the stage, Nene Taylor, Executive Director of Harriet's Wildest Dream, and Kaya Chatterjee, Executive Director of Free DC.
Welcome to DC. I ain't hear y'all say welcome to DC. I'm Nene Taylor. I'm the co-founder and executive director of Harriet's Wildest Dreams, named after our ancestor Harriet Tubman. I am also the co-founder of Free DC. I was born and raised right here in Southeast Washington, D.C. As many of you know, we are in a state of grief for the loss of our freedom fighter, Assata Shakur. We honor her life, her courage, and her teaching. She told us that we need a revolution of the mind and a revolution of the heart. These words still lead me because this work begins in how we show up for one another, how we care for one another, and how we show up for one another. Washington, D.C. is a black home. We come here to Washington, D.C. That is what you came here to Washington, D.C. That's what you're stepping into. A home built by black hands, held together by black love, guarded by generations who refuse to leave. The people of D.C. have been teaching, protecting, and fighting for this city long before most of you start paying attention. We have been living and breathing the consequences of racist policies, displacement, and over-policing since post-Civil War. We have been demanding and calling for D.C. to become a state. We need D.C. statehood now. D.C. statehood now. D.C. statehood now. On Monday, our freedom watchers were up at the D.C. courts until the cell block closed 2 o'clock in the morning. They were watching hearing after hearing after hearing of our neighbors being kidnapped over the weekend. We also have 300,000 black women who have been fired in the last few months. Most of those are federal workers right here in the district. And we just listened to lawyers argue at the Supreme Court that fixing the system to make it fair for black people somehow harms white people. This is what we're up against. This is what we are up against. Black people freedom is being threatened by a felon democracy and have been punched by white fragile supremacy. Here in D.C., we have been organizing, protecting, and building long before cameras arrived. If you want to help, listen to those who have been doing this work before Trump became in office, before all of this came to play. Listen to the ones that's been on the ground ever since 400 years ago. I see all of you right here, and y'all see me. All of the applauses, and yet, when you all call to meet, when I call you to meet impacted black people, where will you be? Ask yourself, where will you be? Will our movements need funding? Where will you be? When you are invited to teach, to share your skills, to support, strategize, and to defend black people in public, where will you be? Solidarity is measured by what you do when you are called forward. Community is responsibility, structure, and work. It's both a noun and a verb. It's the people, and it's the people in motion. It is how we build safety for each other. It's how we keep us safe. Who keep us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keep us safe?
We keep us safe.
Black people have been carrying the moral weight of this world for generations. We have stood in the gap for every fight against oppression, from Palestine to right here in D.C., because we believe everyone deserves to be free. We are not free until all of us are free. And I'm going to leave you. Assata Shakur taught me once again, weapons of mass instruction and weapons of mass love. She said it's not enough to change the system. We must change ourselves. That kind of change requires that we hold the line for one another. Protest black people in public and in private. I see you. I see your faces, just like you see mine. Will you tomorrow? Will I see you tomorrow? Will I see you next month? When more of our rights are being stripped and more of our black bodies are put in cages. Don't watch from the shadows. I charge you. I charge you to be on the front lines. I charge you to fight. And we will not end with because the day won't end with this stage when the stage come down and the cameras leave and you return home. The fight for our collective liberation is not contained to this presidio of the media attention today. So again, ask yourself, where will you be? My charge is you don't comply. I want you to say no to the kings. We call them oppressors. And I want you to help us to free the land, to free the people, and free us all, and free D.C. Free D.C. Free D.C. Free D.C. Free D.C.
All right, my name is Kaya Chatterjee. Thank you so much, Nini. I am with Nini, one of the co-founders of Free DC and the executive director of Free DC. And we are the movement to protect DC home rule and win lasting dignity for the 700,000 people of DC. Let me hear you, DC. Who out here is here today for a Free DC? So DC needs to be free because what we are doing here today, right now, would not be possible otherwise. This president wants to silence dissent. He wants to silence protest. He wants to do that everywhere, and we saw him try to do that this week. President Trump and his allies lied about this very event that we are attending right now. He tried to get us all to stay away from here. But did we do that? Our right to protest is important everywhere, really it is, but there is nowhere that it is more important than here, in the capital of the country. We know what authoritarian rulers do. Authoritarians, they try to prevent dissent in the capital. They want to control capitals. They have tried to control capitals through the history of time and space, because controlling a capital is a way to control a nation and a way to prevent the transfer of power. This president is no different from those authoritarians, and we saw that on January 6th, right? We saw that. And this president started attacking D.C. again the day he took office again. Today, we are in our third month of military occupation by armed forces from multiple other states in D.C. There are gangs of federal agents who are attacking our communities. And we've heard from so many people today that they've attacked our unhoused neighbors. They've attacked our immigrant neighbors. They've attacked black and brown neighbors. They've attacked our cultural institutions. They've attacked thousands of people who serve as federal workers. They've tried to take over our local police department. They put a disgraced Fox News host in charge of our local prosecutions. And on top of that, their allies in Congress are trying to pass dozens of bills, more than 24 budget riders that take away basic rights from the people who live in the capital of this country. This president is trying to instill fear among the people here. Exactly. We won't let him. We know better than that. We know better than that. We know what to do, right? We know what to do. The people of D.C. are joyful. If you could see what I see right now, you would see an amazing crowd all the way back to the White House full of joy. The people of D.C. are powerful. We are going to use that power. We have what it takes here in D.C., not just to resist this tyrant, but to actually take him out of power and win. And I want to say, I'm not just talking about voting. I'm not just talking about attending rallies. I'm talking about organizing now like our lives depend on it. When we act collectively, if you could see the number of people here, plus think of all the people in all the other cities, when we act collectively, we have so much more power than we realize. We have way more power than they do. We have power as workers. Who here is in a union? If you're not in a union, get in a union. Talk to your coworkers about collective action. We have power as consumers. We can choose to either fuel the companies that are profiting off of our oppression, or we can starve those companies. We have power as jurors. We have seen that these indictments they are trying to get, they are failing, right? Our people understand the assignment. We see that this administration's charges are unjust. We have power as taxpayers. We are all right now collectively funding this regime, and we have the power to slow that down, right? We know what's on our license plate here in D.C. What's it say? That's right. And we have power as community members. We can engage in our sacred duty to protect one another, to support one another in solidarity, and to reject this cruelty agenda that we're seeing unfold. And if those are things that you want to be a part of and you aren't already, come find the Free DC action tents. They're over to the right. I know it's like so crowded you can't even see where I'm waving here, but they're in John Marshall Park over to the right, and you can join the effort and the power it takes to win. We're also at freedcproject.org. What we have seen over the last 10 months is that every single time they attack us, if we respond, we grow stronger. Every time they attack us, we grow more united, we grow our people, and we grow our resolve, and we learn what it takes to take them down. We're building unity, we're building power, and we are going to demand full power over our local money, our DC National Guard, our local laws, and ultimately, yes, we will be admitted as the 51st state of the United States of America. It is not going to be Canada, it's not going to be Greenland, it's going to be DC. And our entire national democracy will always be at risk until that happens, until we actually protect the capital of this country. And that means that everyone across this country needs a free DC. From Ward 1 to Ward 8, from Los Angeles to Chicago, from Memphis to Portland, we are more united now than we have ever been. We are united against deploying the military against our people. We are united against attacks on our democracy, and we are united against this agenda of cruelty that we are seeing unfold before our eyes. Together, we, the people here today, and all our friends we organize, we're going to bring it to an end. Free DC!
Free DC!
Free DC!
Free DC!
Free DC!
Free DC!
Washington, D.C., please welcome to the stage Leah Greenberg and Ezra Levin, co-founders of Indivisible.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here with you today. I'm Leah.
Hey, I'm Leah's husband.
And we are the co-founders of Indivisible. We support a movement of thousands of local indivisible groups organizing in every state of the country. These are regular people who understand that saving our democracy is too important to be left to the politicians, and it's going to take all of us.
Woo.
Now, I've got a question for you. How many kings do we have in America? That's right. We are in the middle of a sprint by Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, their MAGA cronies, to consolidate power and bully American society into submission. They have come for corporations and billionaires, for law firms and universities, for media and civil society. They are ripping families apart, and they are shredding our Constitution while they line their pockets in the biggest heist of all time. And the way they do it is they go on the attack. They make demands. They claim powers they don't have. They bully and they threaten to retaliate, and they see if anyone will push back. And if nobody pushes back, they win. And then they go on to the next attack. They are doing everything they can to convince us that they are all powerful, that they are inevitable, that they will win. And I need you to hear me. It's a lie.
Woo!
It's always been a lie. And the greatest danger we face is not Trump. It is how we, as a society, respond to this bullying, to this chilling effect. If we preemptively obey, if we shrink back, if we make ourselves small, if we do what they want in advance. Now, we saw them try this play this week. Mike Johnson, Stephen Miller, their cronies on Fox News. They have spent the last week on the attack against no kings, smearing all of us as anti-American. They tried to scare us out of gathering here today. And I've got a question for you. Are we afraid?
No!
Did they scare us off?
No!
Are we going to back down now?
No!
That's right, because what we are doing here today is as American as apple pie. We are standing up for our rights. We are standing up for our neighbors. We are here because we understand. We are here because we understand that when a tyrant threatens your right to free speech, you call his bluff and you stand up. In every action and every day, we defy the regime. So I've got something to say to Mike Johnson, Speaker Mike Johnson, who spent all week smearing regular Americans. There are nearly a dozen No Kings protests happening across your district today. And
Leah Greenberg, everybody. My God. Look, Leah is my spouse. She's my partner. She's the co-executive director of Indivisible. She's the real strategic brains behind Indivisible. We are indebted to her for her strategic vision. I'm biased, but I think we all agree. Look, I'm just here to tell a story. And I think it's important for us to tell the story of these First Amendment rights that Leah is talking about. And this story I want to tell is about the first No Kings Day. Who here was at the first No Kings Day? Whoa, 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 whoa. No, I don't think y'all were there. This was a quarter of a millennia ago. This was 250 years ago, 1775. They called it the Continental Congress. They didn't have the branding we did. But it was the first No Kings Day protest. What they did, they brought themselves together in opposition to this would-be monarchical ruler who was steamrolling the American public. He was occupying and invading American cities. He was terrorizing American communities. He was picking out his favorites and persecuting his political enemies. He didn't believe in democracy at all. Can you imagine? Can you imagine such a ruler over America? It was bleak. It was bleak. So what did our fellow Americans do? They put together a No Kings rally to give us a constitution. That's what they did. That's our history. Whose history? Whose history? Whose history? Look, this is a big experiment in self-government, a government of, by, and for the people. Nobody here is under the illusion that this was a perfect union. That's not what we created. This was a compromise of rich men, of white men, of slaveholding men. But this imperfect union that they put together, it also gave us some fundamental rights to make it more perfect. Who has been using those rights? The abolitionists, the suffragists, the heroes of the civil rights movement, the leaders at Stonewall, the leaders in the Dreamer movement, and all of us here. All of us here. Whose rights? Our rights. Whose rights? Ben Franklin, that lovely Benny, what did he say? Benny told us all, when asked what they had created, he said, a republic if you can keep it. Who's going to keep this? Who's keeping this republic? That's right. We love this country enough to demand more of it. You know who doesn't want us to make any demands? This regime. The tech fascists, the billionaire backers, they want us lazy and pliant and docile. They want us alone and afraid and powerless. Are we powerless? No. Are we alone? No. Damn right we're not. As I stand here today, Elon Musk, remember that guy? He's out of the White House. Jimmy Kimmel, back on air. And for the last week, this regime has been quaking in its jackboots at the thought of 200,000 people in D.C. outside the Capitol where Mike Johnson isn't working and hasn't been for the last month. You know what it turns out? It turns out that we're braver than the billionaires. Who's braver than the billionaires? Who's braver than the billionaires? This is my favorite part, folks. I get to name some names. Jeff Bezos, who took a respected pro-democracy institution that had the slogan of democracy dies in the darkness, and he turned the slogan into corruption, capitulation, cowardice, shame. Mark Benioff, y'all see this guy in the news, the head of Salesforce, who is welcoming troops into San Francisco? This guy who is begging to give artificial intelligence to ICE to triple their size? Shame. Daniel Ek. Y'all don't know who Daniel Ek is, do you? The CEO of Spotify, which right now is robbing from musicians and running ads to recruit for a secret police force that terrorizes our communities. Mark Zuckerberg. End of story. Need I say more? But we're not just booing, y'all. We're not just booing. We're organizing. This is a movement of everyone in this country who is taking a side. We are taking a side. It is a time to choose that side. Are you on the side of the MAGA forces, of the Nazis, of the billionaires? Hell no. So I ask businesses, universities, churches, which side are you on? We're on the people's side. Which side? Look, nobody on this stage has told you there's no need to have fear. We see what this regime is doing. We see them rattling their sabers. We see them sending troops into communities. We see them zip-tying children and dragging them out of apartments. We see this. This movement, the 200,000 of us here, this movement is not a fearless movement. It's better than that. It's a brave movement. The other side wants to suppress dissent, chill free speech, and come after their opponents. We're not here because we're fearless. We're here because we're better than fear. We're braver than billionaires, and we're bigger than ever before. We're going to win this, y'all, because we believe, as all Americans believe, we don't do kings here. How many kings? How many kings? Now, we had a little bit of extra time in the program, and a guy in Vermont with some ideas about this wanted to come up. So let's have him out.
Washington, D.C., are you ready? Here we go. Please welcome the senior senator from the great state of Vermont, the Honorable Bernie Sanders.
Thank you, Washington. Thank you, Indivisible. Thank you to the millions of Americans from our smallest towns to our largest cities in every state in our country who are gathering today at thousands of rallies. Mike Johnson, the Republican Speaker of the House, called these rallies Hate America events. Boy, does he have it wrong. Millions of Americans are coming out today not because they hate America. We're here because we love America. We're here because we're going to do everything we can to honor the sacrifices of millions of men and women who, over the last 250 years, fought and sometimes died to defend our democracy and our freedoms. In 1776, with extraordinary courage, the founders of our country announced to the world that they would no longer be ruled by the King of England, a king who had absolute power over their lives. They demanded freedom. And to bring that about, they fought a bloody war against the British Empire and the most powerful military in the world. Tens of thousands of Americans died in that 8-year war, but our forefathers fought on and they won. And in 1789, after winning that war, they did something extraordinary. They established the first democratic form of government in modern history. They said loudly and boldly to the entire world, no more kings. In America, they said, we, the people, will rule. And today, today in the year 2025, in this dangerous moment in American history, our message is exactly the same. No, President Trump, we don't want you or any other king to rule us. Thank you very much, but we will maintain our democratic form of society. We will not move toward authoritarianism. In America, we, the people, will rule. When he was sworn in as the nation's first president, George Washington called this attempt at self-government, quote, an experiment entrusted to the hands of the American people, end quote. My fellow Americans, in an unprecedented way, that experiment is now in danger. It is in danger when we have a president who wants more and more power in his own hands and in the hands of his fellow oligarchs. It is in danger when we have a president who claims that peaceful protests in Portland, Oregon, or Chicago, Illinois, is an insurrection and calls in the U.S. military, and then threatens to arrest the mayors and governors who resist them. It is in danger when we have masked agents working for ICE, breaking down doors, throwing people into vans without due process, and taking them to God knows where. It is in danger when we have a president who sues and intimidates the media, who wants no criticism of him and his policies, and who undermines the First Amendment of our Constitution, the very foundation of American democracy. Our country is in danger when we have a president who threatens to arrest or imprison political opponents who stand against him, including the Attorney General of New York State, a sitting U.S. Senator, and the Governor of California. It is in danger when we have a president who undermines freedom of thought and dissent at our colleges and universities, and who attacks law firms that oppose him in court. It is in danger when we have a president who threatens to impeach judges who rule against him. It is in danger when we have a president who ignores Congress, refuses to spend money that Congress appropriates, and takes away money from states who voted against him. It is in danger when we have a president who demands that states redraw congressional maps to ensure that his chosen candidates win future elections. It is in danger when we have a president who illegally fires tens of thousands of federal employees right here in Washington, D.C. and throughout our country, and rips up union contracts that workers have fought for and won. It is in danger when we have a president who grossly violates the Constitution by accepting gifts from foreign leaders, including a $400 million plane from the royal family of Qatar, and then allows that family to build an Air Force facility in Idaho. Well, let us be clear. This moment is not just about one man's greed, one man's corruption, or one man's contempt for the Constitution. This is about a handful of the wealthiest people on earth who, in their insatiable greed, have hijacked our economy and our political system in order to enrich themselves at the expense of working families throughout this country. Yes, yeah, I am talking about Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and the other multi-billionaires who were sitting right behind Trump when he was inaugurated. Remember that? The very same billionaires who funded his campaign, who have bestowed gifts upon him, and who have seen huge increases in their wealth and power since Trump took office. Yeah, yes, I am talking about the insanity of one person, Mr. Musk, owning more wealth than the bottom 52% of American households. I'm talking about the incredible injustice of the top 1% in America now owning more wealth than the bottom 93%. I'm talking about the richest people in America becoming much, much richer, while 60% of our people live paycheck to paycheck, struggling every day to pay their rent and mortgages, pay for child care and education, pay for their health care and prescription drugs, afford decent quality food for their kids, and maybe, just maybe, put aside a few bucks for their retirements. I am talking about our nation, the richest country in the history of the world, having the highest rate of childhood and senior poverty of almost any major country on earth. I am talking about our great nation, having 85 million Americans uninsured or underinsured, and 800,000 people who are homeless, including people a few blocks from here. All the while Mr. Musk is on his way to becoming a trillionaire. I am talking about the incredible danger of the richest people in this country pouring hundreds of billions of dollars into artificial intelligence and robotics, which in the next decade will decimate tens of millions of jobs for the American working class. I'm talking about a billionaire class who believe that they have the divine right to rule, and who not only want massive tax breaks for themselves, but who reject any form of accountability or checks on their power. My fellow Americans, we rejected the divine right of kings in the 1770s. We will not accept the divine right of oligarchs today. And now let's take a look, brief look, at where we are today. Where we are today on the 18th day of a government shutdown, which is depriving millions of federal employees of the paychecks they desperately need and deserve. Let me cut to the chase and tell you exactly what this shutdown is all about. As a result of Trump's big, beautiful, disgraceful bill, which made massive cuts to Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act, 15 million low-income and working-class Americans are going to lose the health care they desperately need to stay alive. And my friends, studies suggest that when you throw those 15 million people off of the health care they presently have, 50,000 of them will die unnecessarily every single year. 50,000 Americans will die unnecessarily every single year. But that's not all. As a result of that same terrible piece of legislation, over 20 million Americans are going to see, on average, a doubling of their health insurance premiums through the Affordable Care Act. In my state of Vermont, just the other day, people received notices from insurance companies that their health care premiums, in some cases, would triple or quadruple. And that is going on all over the country. At a time when we already pay, by far, the highest prices in the world for health care, millions of Americans are going to see outrageous increases in their health care premiums, which they cannot afford. And why is that happening? Why are the Republicans making a broken health care system, a dysfunctional health care system, even worse? Why are they bringing our health care system to the verge of collapse? We all know the answer. We all know the answer. It was to give $1 trillion in tax breaks to Mr. Musk, Mr. Bezos, Mr. Zuckerberg, Mr. Ellison, and the rest of the 1%. $1 trillion in cuts to Medicaid, and the ACA, $1 trillion in tax breaks for the 1%. That, my fellow Americans, is what this shutdown is all about. And let me be as clear as I can be. No, I will not vote for a budget that throws 15 million Americans off their health care. No, I will not vote for a budget that doubles premiums for 20 million Americans. No, I will not vote for a budget that forces nursing homes, rural hospitals, community health centers to lay off staff and close their doors throughout this country. All to give huge tax breaks to the billionaire class. So today, right now, I say to my Republican colleagues, come back from your month-long vacation. Start negotiating and do not allow the American healthcare system to be destroyed. End this shutdown. My fellow Americans, we are the greatest country in the history of the world. And when we stand together and don't allow demagogues to divide us up, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish. Yes, we can create a vibrant democracy by ending Citizens United and not allowing billionaires to buy elections. Yes, we can join the rest of the industrialized world and guarantee health care to every man, woman, and child as a human right. Yes, we can build millions of units of low-income and affordable housing and allow our younger generation to enjoy the American dream and own a home of their own. Yes, we can make public colleges and universities tuition-free and have the best child care and public school system in the entire world. Yes, we can expand Social Security so that every senior in our country can retire with dignity. Yes, we can raise the minimum wage to a living wage and guarantee every worker the right to join a union. Yes, we can lead the world in transforming our energy system away from fossil fuels and create millions of good jobs as we save the planet. Yes, we can guarantee that every woman in this country has the right to control her own body. Yes, we can have a foreign policy that guarantees that never again will American taxpayer dollars be used to starve children in Gaza or any place else. And now let me raise a question that I have been asked over and over again. You know, Bernie, great ideas, but how are you going to pay for them? Great question. Thanks for asking. And here is the answer. At a time when the wealthiest people in America have never, ever had it so good, at a time when billionaires are paying an effective tax rate lower than a truck driver or a nurse, yes, the top 1% and large profitable corporations will pay their fair share in taxes. My fellow Americans, the establishment, including the corporate media and many of my colleagues in Congress, want you to believe that you are powerless. They want you to believe that you cannot change the status quo. But that is a lie. Throughout the history of our country, when Americans have stood up and fought for justice, they have prevailed. When the founders stood up to King George, they were told it was impossible, but they won. When abolitionists fought to end slavery, they were told it was impossible, but they won. When workers organized to form unions and stood up to their bosses, they were told it was impossible, but they won. When women demanded the right to vote, they were told it was impossible, but they won. When black Americans fought to end segregation, they were told it was impossible, but they won. When the LGBT community stood up for their rights, they were told it was impossible, but they won. Brothers and sisters, they did it then. We can and will do it now. And how do I know? How do I know that we will succeed? Take a look at this huge crowd right here in our nation's capital. But it is not just here, as I understand it. Today, October 18th, 2025, there are more people out on the streets in more communities all over our country than we have ever seen in American history. Brothers and sisters, this is not the end. This is just the beginning. Together, when we stand united, when we don't allow Trump or anybody else to divide us up by the color of our skin or where we were born or our sexual orientation, when we stand together, we will create the kind of nation that you and I know we can become. We can and will create a nation devoted to freedom, justice, and democracy. Thank you all very much.
bread and butter on my paycheck and paying my expenses. The problem is every time they figure it out, it's like every one of them changes. Like, every year, Facebook adds something new. Just recently, fucking like YouTube switched to make it so that you just get posts and all the default would go live as soon as they get a signal. After years of it defaulting the other way, so it's like meet a couple of web guys just like start up on it already. Yeah, dude. Like, oh my god. Don't start within 10 minutes. You're like, screw your link. You can never have this link again. That's if you're 10 minutes late. Yeah, it's like I would wait until I was like 5 minutes beforehand to like make it because they would see that. What do you care whether we're on time? Yeah. Let's get this. Oh yeah. Hey, I haven't given you any video no more, so I hope so.
Do you guys need anything else, or are you just waiting?
We're golden, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Someone said this is the best posture they get to sit on. They just need to use their feet stabilizers.
Oh, the press riser is pretty good. Except for when people jump.
TV set it up.
No, that ain't us. That's the production team. I would love to take credit, but no.
When I was waiting. You know, it is time for a general strike. People do that shit. Yeah, we need this. Including DC.
I've known that there are like a million. Yeah, there are.
Power to the people. Power to the people.
I thought it's not on the metro, and they were like across from me, and I like held up my sign. They'd be so excited about quad or whatever.
I keep using the phone like I keep trying everyone. I just point her. You be like, oh look.
Free the horses! They didn't deserve that! They don't deserve to be kicked by all with metal! Free the horses! Could you imagine?
Right now,
What? He moved to politics later. All right,
T-shirts, get your T-shirts.
You can go on. I mean, if you want to go ahead and play and get your ticket, I can do that.
When does Spotify wrap up?
Release the phone. No, we gotta do this first. I'm hungry. No, none of that. I'm hungry.
He doesn't want people to know that he's convicted criminal. If you want to go to YouTube,
Hello, Mama.
That's okay. That's why they're wearing the costume. I know.
I got that. I got that with this camera.
Good, good. You know, it's big. It's on the ground. Roll down.
I met you once before. Did you work at the White House?
I was like talking to them. It felt like I was
Ladies and gentlemen, with new sashes and fireworks is having a national ball tomorrow at 6 p.m. Get a photo of the QR code. We are organizing for November 5th. The national call is tomorrow at 6 p.m. We will be in the streets November 5th, November 6th, November 7th, November 8th. Get a picture of the QR code for the national call tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. where you can find out what the plan is to drive this racist, fascist out of office. The call
I'll be on TV.
Not only the president, the vice president, the joint parents, they're all going. And the and we are going what the plan is to reduce fascism to the industry. Start November 5th, November 6th, November 7th. Take a picture of the QR code. The national meeting starts 6 p.m. tomorrow evening, and we will tell you what our plan is to drive this fascist regime out of office. Ladies and gentlemen, take a picture of the QR code. We're having a national meeting tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. We at Reduce Fascism is going to explain what our plan is to drive this fascist regime.
Like you are just fucking worse. And that shit was so.
November 5th, we're going to be there November 6th, November 7th. Take a week off. Come to the streets. Tell your friends. Tell your co-workers. We need everybody in Washington, D.C. starting November 5th. Take a picture of the QR code. We're having a national meeting starting at 6 p.m. tomorrow evening to explain the plan for Reduce Fascism and everybody across America to drive this fascist regime out of office. Ladies and gentlemen, we're having a national call tomorrow at 6 p.m. Scan the code, get on the call. We are going to explain what the plan is for Reduce Fascism to take and drive this fascist regime out of office. It's going to start November 5th, 6th, 7th. We are going to stay in the streets until this fascist regime falls. Get a picture of the QR code, the national call starts at